He said it in my kitchen, like it was already settled. The kettle screamed. My hands were steady. His weren't. He leaned against the counter, thumb hooked in his belt, wearing grief like a badge he'd earned. It's tradition, he said. You know that. I watched. The steam blur his face and thought about how easy it would be to scream back. I didn't. I turned off the stove and waited for him to finish burying himself. We weren't always this way. When we were kids, he taught me how to ride a bike on a street that smelled like hot tar and oranges. He clapped when I didn't fall. He used to say my name like it mattered. After our father died, he took over everything that made noise, decisions, stories. The grief became his armor. Mine stayed quiet. When our mother passed years later, the house filled with paperwork and silence, and he stepped into both like a man claiming a stage. I trusted him. That's the bruise that never shows. He handled the funeral arrangements, the lawyer calls, the lockbox. He told me what I needed to know and what I didn't. He said the will was straightforward. Split, fair, clean. I believed him because believing was easier than fighting while mourning. Then the ask started. Soft at first. A suggestion. You don't really need the property, he said, glancing at his phone. You live in the city. Later, firmer. Dad always wanted it in the family. Finally, the demand. The phrase that turned my blood cold. I'm the only man in the family. I didn't argue. I noticed. The way he avoided my eyes when money came up. The way the lawyer's emails never included me unless I was copied last. The way the bank statements were summarized, never shared. Patterns form when you stop interrupting them with hope. The proof arrived on a Tuesday. A forwarded message that wasn't meant for me, sent by a paralegal who assumed I was already aware. It listed an amended deed, a trust I hadn't signed, and a timeline that skipped over consent like it was a minor detail. I read it twice. Then I closed my laptop and went for a walk. Control is easier when your body is moving. I didn't confront him. I planned. Grief makes people sloppy. Silence makes them predictable. I hired my own attorney. Quiet, precise. Pulled every document from the county recorder. I requested copies of the will, the codicils, the trust instruments. I learned how signatures are verified and how witnesses remember things when asked the right way. I found the clause he was betting I'd never read. The one that required unanimous consent for asset transfers. The one that made his confidence a liability. I documented everything, dates, times, the offhand comments that revealed intent. I opened a new account and moved only what was mine to move. I didn't touch the rest. I let him think his version of events was holding. Socially, I did nothing. I let him talk. People reveal their plans when they believe the room belongs to them. At a family dinner, he joked about renovations he hadn't paid for yet. An aunt raised an eyebrow. I caught it, logged it away. Legally, we moved slowly. We froze the assets with a court order he never saw coming. We subpoenaed the bank records he thought were private. We requested a handwriting expert. Every step was clean. Every move necessary. Revenge is strongest when it looks like procedure. The day of the hearing, he wore the same confidence into the room. He sat across from me and smiled like we were still kids. Like this was a misunderstanding. When the judge asked him about the amended deed, he answered too quickly. When the signatures were displayed, he leaned forward. When the expert spoke, his jaw set. I watched the moment land, the one where a lie realizes it has weight. After he found me in the hallway. You didn't have to do this, he said. His voice cracked. The mask slipped. I kept my voice low. You did this when you decided I didn't count. The confrontation at my kitchen came weeks later. After the court restored, everything in the trust was restructured to require transparency. He could never manipulate again. He stood where he had before, smaller now. The kettle screamed again. I let it. I was just trying to protect the family, he said. No, I said. You were trying to own it. I handed him a folder. Inside were the judgments, the fees he owed, the restraining order regarding financial decisions. His name was still on things, but his hands were off. He flipped pages like speed could change outcomes. It couldn't. He looked at me then. Really looked. For the first time, he saw the person who had been watching all along. When he left, the house felt larger. Not empty, cleared. I poured the water down the sink and opened a window. The steam disappeared. So did the noise. I don't feel guilty. I feel precise. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it clicks into place like a lock finally turning. I didn't take anything that wasn't mine. I took back my voice and the space he tried to occupy with his certainty. I think about the bike sometimes, the applause, the way he used to say my name. Then I think about the kitchen, the demand, the word man like a weapon. People tell stories to excuse their greed. I let him tell his. Then I edited the ending. The inheritance sits where it belongs, split, fair, clean, and I sleep well knowing that silence, used correctly, can be louder than any claim.